Welcome to video number 3 in our recycle playlist. In this video we're going to set up the user model and the migration and some associated things with that so that we've got a user we can authenticate with. Now I'll just go to the iPad view and you'll remember we set this up on the introduction video just to explain it, and we have our user class, and I just want to explain that the user can be any type of user. So it could be a customer, it could also be a member of staff of the company, so somebody who works in goods in, or somebody who works in sales, or somebody who works in reporting. Any one of them will log in with the same user model. What differentiates the user is a team. We assign a user to a team, but we'll come on to that on another video. For now, we just want to make sure the user is set up as an object that can authenticate and log into the GraphQL network or the GraphQL endpoint. So what I'm going to do is flick across to my coding. So we have the Laravel playground, which is cool. First of all though, what we need to do is just put in a string that is for the API token. You'll remember when we set up in the last video, we said we were going to use the bearer token. Well, this needs to be stored against the user somewhere, so that will be in this API token field here, which is default nullable, and it's nullable and has a default of null. It's just let me just check the user model. There was something else I wanted to do. App models user. So we don't want to pass the API token. Actually, no, we do, but we can use GraphQL to limit who gets access to that. So if we do PROT, oh no, that's fine. We don't have to hide it. It'll be on the model by default. Okay, so we can leave the model as is. That's fine. Okay, so what we're going to do now is create a middleware so that we can check for the bearer token. So I believe that is PHP artisan make make middleware, and we'll call it API token. They don't call me the shaky coder for nothing. That's all I'm saying. Cool. So this should put this in our app, HTTP middleware API token. There we go. So the idea behind this is what we want to do is get the token from the request that's passed in from this here. So it's set in the authorization header. So the way we can do that is, let's just go token equals what will it be, request bearer token. Nice. Now first thing we need to do is, we're not actually authenticating with the API token here. We're just simply checking if it exists. Although I am thinking we could actually combine it with something else that I'm thinking of. Let's just try this. So if token equals null, so in other words, if it's empty, then we just aren't going to go any further with this whatsoever. So we'll do return response JSON. I know this is all quite explicit and you don't have to go to such detail, but we'll give it a 401, and that basically just says unauthenticated, and then if it's not null, we let it go forward. Now, is it a good idea to try and add that to the request at this point? We haven't authenticated the user, we just have the bearer token. let me have a think about that. So you see, I've got this code here that I add in another piece of middleware. Let me just copy it out. Okay, so if token equals null, return. In fact, what we can do is just go like that. But then I've got this code here, which didn't really work when I've tried it before, but I'm just thinking now, will it work here? So if user equals user, let's just insert that class. Control Option I. Oh, I see, it's picking which one. And then that puts it up here. So that loses its thread. So if user equals user where API token equals token. So in other words, if that user exists, we're adding the user to the request. This is some code I picked up from Stack Overflow, but it basically sets the user into the request system using the bearer token. But I never seem to get this to work. I'll put it in there. The worst that'll happen is it'll just let me through, but it won't put the user into the request, and we'll have to do it manually anyway. But I'll leave it in there for now. But if we're going to put middleware in, we have to just alter the kernel. So I think, where shall we put this? Right, what we're going to do is go to kernel, and we'll give it its own named one here. I think that's right. Okay, so yeah, cool. So token is in there, and then I think when we go down to the roots, yeah, but we're not going to use the roots because we're using GraphQL. So that kernel entry was probably a waste of time, but what we can do, there was these middlewares in here somewhere. So shall we add them in here? Which one was it? Middleware. Okay, let's just see. Let's just add app HTTP middleware API token class. Let's just see if that works. It may work, it may not. If not, we'll just do it manually. Okay. So that's the user setup. Let's run the migration. Oh, we need to change the M variables, don't we? So its database is recycle. User is homestead. Oh man, stop shaking. Homestead. Password is secret. Okay, let's see if that works. Okay, so if we go into our database, users table, yeah, and API token, cool. So let's see, where are we up to? Okay. So if we create a quick C there, so let's just go into here. Let's just create 10 users, and then in the factories, user factory, we'll say password is password. So it's any of the emails, and password is password. Okay, that's cool. Migrate. Okay, so let's have a look at that. There we go. So any of these should have the password of password. So if I copy that, no, nothing's going to happen because with no login endpoint. So if we go to now, so this is another part of GraphQL. Inside the root, we have a folder here, GraphQL and schema. So as you can see, we have some stuff set up already. That was part of the when we ran one of the config publish things. So there's a query here for user and there's a query for users. So users name, where operator like, user paginate default 10. There's a lot going on there. Let's just try it in the browser. So if I say what's the format? So query users ID user ID, is that it? Error, okay. Can't quite remember how to do this now. So query users, query, he's got simulators. That's a bit annoying. That should work. Query users oh, this looks more promising. And it isn't. Maybe I need to reload. Ah. Oh. Server cannot be reached. Server cannot be reached. Okay, let me just run PHP Artisan. So, not sure why the schema's not coming up, but we definitely have a user's query here. Okay. Alright, we'll come back to this. Let's see, what else can we do? So search by primary key. Okay, let's see if we can get... Well, let's knock out our middleware. No, it wasn't that, was it? It was in Lighthouse. Let's just knock this out. I have no idea if this is making a difference, but if we knock it out... there we go. So yeah, we'll leave that out for now until we can work out what's going on. So can our query field ID on type paginator? So I think that's data, is it? I think it's data users. It should say something about, oh no, cannot query field data on type query. So it's definitely users, data, users, ID. Cannot query field users on type user. So is that ID? Hey, all right, so there's our ID. So if we put an email in there, it's because it's the paginator. When you do the paginator, you have to put the data node in, and you don't if you don't. So I get mixed up. Excellent. So this is our GraphQL query coming back. So as you can see, it's just going to the one endpoint, but it's the actual makeup of the query determines what can come back here in this list. So this is excellent because it means we're accessing our data. Now, where are we on our video time? We are on about 15 minutes, so we'll call it quits there. This is good. We can now start to build up on our user and the other related tables as well. So that's it for this video. Thank you so much. If you liked it, please click the like button, it means an awful lot. If you want to see this is the third one in a row now, third day in a row, which I'm going to try and keep it going. And if you want to see future videos like this, please click the subscribe button. And yeah, any suggestions as to which way we take this, please put them in the comments as well. More than happy to look at different things, different ways of looking at it. As you can see, I'm still learning, but really appreciate you watching this. Thank you very much. Until the next video, goodbye.